You're live. Go ahead.
Hey guys, how are you?
Man, good. How you doing, brother?
Doing good.
What's up, friends?
Hey, Rick.
Man.
Let me introduce the show and ourselves for our audience. Welcome to the Food Fans podcast from Asheville, North Carolina, with me, Stu Helm, the Food Fan, and my friends Rick Crilia and Luis Serapio. Luis is a bit of a media mogul here in Asheville, runs De Scuba Day Asheville, the bilingual news outlet, and just a great guy. And Rick is an eater.
I eat things.
He eats things. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. And I'm a food blogger here in Asheville. I also have a red eye because it's allergy season here in
Big time, man. Big time.
Western North Carolina. So I think this eye, I've been smoking some weed, but this eye seems clear. So.
Oh, man. Mine are completely allergies, okay?
Yeah, there you look blazed, Luis.
I know, but I'm telling you, I promise. It is allergies, man.
Okay, allergies. We'll blame it all on allergies. Whole city of Asheville
all those
suffers from
histamines.
allergies.
Yeah, well, it's the springtime, man. Come on.
Yeah. We're not high in Asheville. We're just suffering.
Never.
We're suffering.
We have high altitude.
So this is a podcast about food. It's kind of about the local food scene, but also since we hope that we have a national and even an international audience, we try to make it interesting for everybody and try to cover some nationwide topics as well. Like in the past, we covered the hiring shortage. Last week, Davine and I talked about Davine is our producer, and you guys were absent, so she stood in for you. I don't know if you saw the episode, but she filled in for you, and we learned that we don't really need you.
Yeah, that's good. It's always good to have plan B, man. Come on.
I'm going back to bed.
Yeah, Rick, you just woke up and you look like it, bro.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you took a nap today?
I took a little 10-minute power nap. Yeah.
Power nap. Is that what they call it, Rick? When you're in the high world of business, power nap. Yeah. So let's see. We got an agenda tonight, as always. Let's see. I've got it in the private chat. If you guys want to call up the private chat. Oh, now it doesn't seem to be there. I guess that's because we had to restart the computer. But I've got it also on my phone. But basically, it's the same agenda as always. We've got the wing thing going on first. So we're going to talk about some chicken wings. And then we've got where'd you eat and what'd you cook? And we've got Food Fam, where we talk about the food industry. And let me just check my little agenda here to see what I might be missing. I've got Rick's note that says he's napping. We had an interview that was scheduled, but Luis, you said you weren't happy with the interview.
I was working on it actually for a long time, man. And then I'll tell you, I messed up. I realized that I didn't translate the whole thing, man. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, next time.
Yeah, man,
I also screwed up an interview. I did a 3-minute interview with Chef Andrew McLeod that lasted 11 minutes.
Oh.
And then we couldn't fit it into the podcast because you can't upload anything more than 10 minutes. And so screwing up interviews seems to be part of our MO here.
I see, brother. I see.
You're right on target.
Yeah, man. I'm going to do it again because I think it's important that the interview that I was doing with Patty Sands, I feel like it was really juicy and something that people should be aware of what she's doing. So
absolutely,
I'll make it happen.
All right, great. And for those who don't know, Patty Sains is a chef here in town. She owns Pupuseria Patty Asheville. And where's her other one? Is it in Weaverville?
One of them is on Patton Avenue, and the other one is in Leicester.
So,
yep,
that's right. Mm-hmm. So great chef. And she's from Argentina? Where is she?
No, she's from El Salvador, man.
El Salvador.
She's from El Salvador. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that interview. She's part of the Chow Chow Festival this year.
Yep, she is indeed. We were talking about this.
Yeah. Let's talk about chicken wings.
Let's talk about chicken wings.
Rick, you might be the only person in this chat room who's eaten chicken wings this week. Did you eat chicken wings?
Well,
I did. I ate them twice.
Oh, man. Do tell.
I'll work back. So tonight for dinner, we did I was in the mood for Thai, so we did Thai pearl through kickback, and I got the Siam wings.
Oh,
which are
yeah.
their. They have two types of wings: the tiger wings
Yeah.
and the Siam wings. Siam wings were a little less spicy than the tiger wings, but they were delicious. They use like a tempura batter. They're fried. It's a really crunchy and with a sort of like a tossed with a dry rub after frying. So they come like almost like they're just a dry rub wing, and then they give you the kind of a Thai chili sauce to dip in, and just delicious, just fantastic. And
They give you a hot sauce to dip the hot wings into, so
it's like
up on the hot.
Like if you're getting like I don't know, spring rolls or fresh rolls, kind of it's like a clear Thai chili, little spicy but not too spicy. So
Right,
it was delicious.
Those sound great.
Nice. You're making me hungry, man.
I'm starving right now.
I like Thai food.
Crunch.
Yeah, I'm breaking one of my own rules by doing the show really hungry. I'm starving. I took a run over to.
Angry.
Yeah, well, not yet, Rick, but don't piss me off. I tried to. This is like a dog fight going on in there.
It's not me. It's
Knock it off, you knucklehead.
I tried to get some
Disorder in the
beignets.
court.
Oh, well, you need a gavel, brother. Whack him on the head. I tried to get beignets from Babette's Beignets to sate my hunger before the show, but they close at 5. So, warning to everybody out there in the world, red alert, Babette's, no beignets after 5.
Interesting, man. So I had gone by the place.
Babette's?
Yeah, man. And unless I'm confused, tell me please where it is, because every time I go by it, it seems like it's a place that is about to open, but it's not open. I mean, I'm serious. It's like because I thought about you. I was like, you told me this was opening, and I was like, this doesn't look open. So
that might be because they're doing. There's a lot of scaffolding.
The schedule that you're telling me.
Well, no, it's because there's a lot of scaffolding over there, so it looks like all those businesses are closed, but they're open.
That's what it is, man.
Yeah, and Babette's is only open till 5, so maybe it was after 5. I don't know. I haven't actually been inside yet. It looked open.
Okay.
There were other people going in and out of it the last time I walked by. So
cool. I'll keep it in mind, man.
Okay. Well, Rick, but you're not done telling us about your wings. Yeah, wings
number 2.
Yeah,
a couple of nights ago, I was wanting old school, so I got through kickback as I usually do since we're out here in the lands. I got Westville Pub, and I spent a long time at Westville Pub first year I was in Nashville because I live walking distance.
Okay,
but I hadn't been in a while, and so we ordered those, and I got their wings are really good. Really, you'd like them, Stu. They're usually cooked really well.
Oh, good.
And not too dry. But they do they have different sauces, and I did they have like 6 or 7 different sauces, and I did what they call their whoop ass sauce.
Oh, the whoop ass, famous whoop ass sauce.
And it's a real hot habanero buffalo sauce, and it is whoop ass sauce. It's good. I would make it for a couple of days. So
I happen to know that you pay extra for the whoop ass sauce, so you threw down an extra 50 cents, I think, to get that whoop ass sauce.
Yeah, so and very good. And
I want to tell you that I'm so glad you got wings from Thai Pearl, and I'm glad you got them through Kickback for all the usual reasons, but also because I just added them back to the menu.
I noticed they dropped off.
Yeah, and I just put them back. They're actually on my list to talk about today. I added some wings back to some menus, which I've been taking them off menus because of the nationwide wing shortage. But I added them back to the Thai Pearl menu, so I was psyched to see that. And then, boom, there we go. Wing fan gets some right away.
Right on.
Yeah. People like them. People like wings, for sure.
They like wings. Yeah. Luis, you speak the truth, my friend.
I do sometimes. Well, I'm getting out of it, you see?
Yeah,
see
you're
that I'm
starting
not
to,
dry,
I thought you
man.
were getting emotional about the wing shortage.
Yeah, because he didn't get wings. He's
That
sad.
is- I did get wings, guys.
You did?
Yeah. How about?
Okay.
Are you done with that? I don't want to.
No. Go ahead. Talk about your wings, man.
Well, the wings that I got were the gator wings from Storm.
Right.
And I seen that Jay has been posting this picture for a while, and I had his gator before. He has like a breakfast type of a gator thing with grits that I had
gator and
before.
grits.
Yeah, I guess that's what it's called, gator and grits.
It's exactly what it's called.
Yeah, it is exactly what it's called, man. Those were pretty good. I really liked them.
Me
And
too.
yeah, man. And since he was posting these pictures about the wings, I gave it a shot. And I went and had, I believe they're glazed with sheer wine, which makes them sweet. It makes them a little too sweet, man. I was actually expecting more spice, but they turned out to be rather very sweet. At the same time, though, I do like it. It made me kind of emotional. Actually, that really was true. I remember sitting at the table at the Storm, looking at my plate, and literally my mind went to my childhood. And in fact, I put a post on my personal profile on Facebook, because truly, when I was sitting there, I was just thinking about when I was a kid. I used to go catch alligators, man, and I had a horse, and I remember I used to go all the time to the swamps. And one time, an uncle of mine and his family came visiting from Mexico City. And it was kind of funny, man, because we live in the very southern part of Mexico, close to the border with Guatemala. And so very different from Mexico City. And I don't know, my mom told him to go ride the horse with me, and I'll take him to where we get the milk. So I had to ride the horse for about a mile or whatever through swamps. And when I was going with him, he was in the back. I dropped him. I didn't mean to drop him when we were going through a swamp. And he freaked out because he seen that there were alligators there.
Did the alligator eat your uncle?
No, man.
Okay,
But that was going through my mind. I was thinking, I was looking at the plate, and I was thinking, wow. And anyway, man, it was kind of funny.
That's great, though. I think that's great. You can be in the mountains of Appalachia and Western North Carolina. You can sit down in what's a pretty fancy restaurant for downtown and have some gator legs. Now, technically not wings, because gators don't have wings.
That's true.
And I think they're even called on the menu. They're called Gator Got No Wings. And
it's possible. Yeah, I think so. You're right. Actually.
Yeah, and they would remind you of growing up in Mexico. I think that's a great story, man.
Yeah, man.
Food is all about memories a lot of times. You're either creating them or reliving them.
It was interesting. Truly, when I put that post on my Facebook page, I did it in Spanish, and I meant for my family to see it. And in fact, my older sister saw it, and she shared it. And then I saw how I'm not friends with all of my family in Mexico, but I did see how they reacted. And it was cool to see that. I mean, really, I left Mexico 32 years ago now. 22 years. And then now, since I have been back, I think it meant a lot to some people to see that I will remember my uncle. And my uncle just passed, actually. He passed because of COVID.
Oh, really?
And
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was crazy because he was a doctor. But anyway, that's a different story. So the gator wings were good. There were some, not emotional, but they were definitely nostalgic.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed them. So
good. And you mentioned they were sweet. Now, last week I got some wings from Bear's Barbecue, and I recommend those wings for both of you guys. Those are some legit wings. But I also got the Moink balls, which are bacon wrapped meatballs. And they were good. They were decadent, and like my arteries were hating me for it. But they came with a dipping sauce. I got the Texas pepper sauce. I hear the word pepper, I think hot, right?
Yeah.
I told Davine last week, it was so sweet I could have poured it on ice cream. It was legit sweet. And I actually thought, I wonder if this would be good on ice cream.
Wow, man. Okay.
So that's the wing thing. Like, Rick, you ate 2 wings. Luis, you ate something called a wing.
Yeah, you're right.
I didn't eat any wings at all. This is my first week in months of not eating 2 or 3 different kinds of wings, though. So
yeah,
don't be angry at me. Okay, don't be angry at me, Rick. I've had to deal with Rick
brother. I barely got. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I barely got through 1 order of wings that week. I was I'm so winged out.
Yeah. winged out. I wasn't winged out. I just didn't have an opportunity. And I committed a grave sin this week that I hope you guys can forgive me for. I bought groceries and I cooked at home.
Oh shit!
That's awesome.
That's
Well,
great, man.
I barely have anything to talk about this week. I didn't eat out.
Well,
I ate out
we have the
once.
whole "Did you cook" segment, so
I can contribute to the "What did you cook" segment. And Rick, one of the things I cooked, if you want to, we can get into what did you cook right now. I cooked some of your bacon. You made bacon and you brought me some, and I had cooked all of the sweet bacon and ate that like just a snack. It just sat on my counter and I just ate it. Like walking past the plate, I would eat another piece. But then with the savory bacon, I had it right proper with eggs, and I had it kind of congee style, I think it's called, with some rice.
Oh yeah.
And I had a lot of beef juice left from the steak I cooked, and I poured that over the rice and eggs and the bacon, and so it had like a beefy flavor too, and it was really good. So your bacon is legit, dude. It's thick and it's
Yay.
Yeah, totally good. And so that's what I cooked this week was this giant steak that I bought. I got up Farmer Bezos on the internet, and I ordered groceries from Whole Foods through Amazon. This guy's not rich enough. I got to give him my grocery money too. And I had some groceries delivered, and one of the things I got was like 2 pounds of sirloin steak. You taking off, Davine? Thank you for everything. Producer Davine is leaving me in charge, so expect everything to go wrong from this point on.
Bye, Davine.
Bye, Davine.
Have a good one.
And so, yeah, I bought this enormous steak, and I just I slice it when I need it, and I just cook it with. I bought a bunch of broccoli, and I just cooked broccoli and steak all week. That's pretty much what I ate. And my girlfriend made some rice grits, which is grits made out of broken rice. So technically, it's not grits; it just has a grits-like feel to it. Have either of you
Where
guys?
does one get broken rice?
We got it from the Mother Ocean Marketplace. They sell bags of what's called broke rice or broken rice or rice grits. And it is literally the broken pieces of rice, really small. And you cook it like grits. Dawn always makes it because I hate cooking things that take steps. And she also she bakes it off in the oven after she boils it. So that's probably killing you, Rick. You're like, you can't cook anything without steps, you moron. So that's what I cooked.
It's adorable, actually.
I seared a bunch of meat and I steamed a bunch of broccoli, and I called it a done deal for a week, and threw some eggs on top of it every once in a while. And I snacked out like crazy. I've discovered there's an organic brand of like potato chips that's like Pringles. Comes in the tube and everything, but it's organic.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Dude, I'll power through a whole column of those things in one night if I'm not careful. And they even have like they have a cheddar cheese flavored one too that's just is legit, tastes exactly like Pringles, but you'd be like, it's organic. So it's good for you.
Earth Fare and West carry this clone of the Frito, and it's organic.
Okay.
And they have like a regular one and then like a barbecue, and then they have a blue corn one. And they are legit just like Fritos, minus
awesome.
the GMO corn.
Yeah.
And it's like I let myself buy one bag every 3 months, because if I open it, I'm going to sit there and eat half of it. But,
Oh, totally, man. Like, I don't order groceries from Bezos on a regular basis. So when I do, I get like a bunch of snacks and chocolate, all kinds of stuff. And then it's like this eating frenzy for 2 days, buy like a week worth of groceries, eat like 75% of it in 2 days, and then like cook steak and broccoli for the next 3 days.
It happens. I've done that. I have.
Yeah. So, Rick, you're the real chef among us. What did you cook this week?
What did I cook this week? So I missed last week's episode. I made I smoked and seared some Hickory Nut Gap ribeyes. I had a friend traveling through town, and she stopped by for dinner, and I made us all these wonderfully, like this thing. I bought this pellet grill smoker about a year ago, and it's like changed my life. And it's like,
right?
You smoke a steak for an hour, then reverse sear it to lock in the flavor, and it turns out it's like a steakhouse steak. It's crazy. It's crazy.
What's this smoker? What's it?
It's just like a pellet. Like it's the brand is called Camp Chef. It's not like a Traeger or super fancy brand, but it gets the job done. And it's got like a controller with like you can set it and say, okay, put the probe in, connect it, and say, cook this to 128, and then I fire up the gas grill and I sear it. And man, it's just. You put different flavor pellets in, like I did the skeet for the beef.
Ooh, nice.
But for pork and chicken, I'll do hickory. So yeah, it's changed my life. I used to smoke a lot of stuff with like the regular water smokers, the charcoal and wood water smokers, but it's so much. You have to, if you're doing brisket, it's like 18 hours. It's like crazy. This you just put a bunch of pellets in and walk away.
That's great.
So
yeah, less work, more food. That sounds perfect.
So I made those steaks, and then trying to think, really just kind of regular stuff. Some pasta. I like to brine chicken breasts, and then I grill those with like just some sort of rub, and then we have like chicken salad. Like tossed salad with sliced grilled chicken on it. So.
Nice. Sounds healthy.
Healthier,
very healthier
than chicken wings.
Than chicken wings, bacon, steak.
Yeah.
And Luis, did you cook anything fun?
I did cook something, man. Yes,
nice. I could tell you were chomping at the bit there to tell us.
Yeah, man. No, because really, I think this would be good for people to know.
Okay.
So I have suffered allergies since I moved to this part of the country, and they had gotten really bad. And in fact, this year they're not too bad. There's years that have been really bad. I go to the hospital because I cannot breathe and my chest gets really awful, man. But long story short, a long time ago, people started telling me to do different things to treat my allergies. And I tried a lot of things. And one thing they told me that didn't work back then, but I found out that it worked great this last week, was to eat pineapple.
You said so on Facebook.
No, because really, it kicked in. And really what you got to do is, you don't have to really make it cold, but what happens is when you're having this sneezing attack or when you're trying to calm yourself down from the sneezing, if you eat pineapple, I realized that what the pineapple does literally creates a feeling under your skin, on your face, kind of like if you were washing your face. Because really, when I get really bad, I go and wash my face. That just kind of calms me down a little bit of the feeling that I get on my face. So the pineapple actually kind of does that. I realized that, wow, I start feeling more my face refreshed, and I realized that my sinusitis was getting better. And then the stinging nettles, I found out that 2 years ago, I lived in a farm with a bunch of people from Warren Wilson. And there was a girl there that we became really good friends, Chloe. If you're listening, thank you. I love you. Really, you changed my life when you made me eat this. But so this girl told me she actually made me a tincture with stinging nettles, and it didn't quite work. And then finally, talking to her some more, one day I decided to give it a shot because I heard people eating them, but I could not really find much info on that. And so I ate them, man, and really, they taste really good. And literally, within 10 to 15 minutes, your eyes will stop itching. I will say that for me.
I've heard nettles are very medicinal in many ways, and that's great to know. I'm going to try that. So
that's what I heard too, but really nothing. And I took them in many ways for allergies. People would tell me to do it, but it was until I ate them that truly that's it.
How did you prepare them?
Well, you try to cut them when they're small so that they're not really tall, because the tallest is tougher. And just get the leaves. So trim the leaves out of it, and then get them wet. Kind of like beat them a little bit in the water, and then dry them. Salt them with olive oil, salt and pepper.
So kind of like spinach or something.
Yeah, man. I throw some eggs in it, and that's it. Or last week I ate some tuna, so I made some nettles, and I also made some pineapple, and put like a little bit of like a mango dressing on top, and that also helped, man. I could see what I found out is the citrus probably, because it made me feel truly, like, it didn't heal me. It didn't make it go away, but definitely was a relief. And I will say that it will help me calm down some.
There you go. Not just
man,
food, but some good advice from
the
Farmer's Almanac. That is Luis.
Well, no. You know what it is? It's my friend and roommate, Yves. Yves is from Paris. He's a chef. And one of the things that I have learned with him, man, he cooks really clean. And his food is always very, not only clean looking, but the flavors are strong and clean, like not the spicy. And one time talking to him, when we were having dinner, he told me about truly the approach of food as your medicine. And somehow when I was feeling my crazy allergies, I thought, like, pineapple. I said, pineapple. And I went to Harris Teeter, got some pineapple, and sure enough, it did it. And I thought, wow, okay, I gotta pay attention more about really how my body reacts to different foods. So there you have it.
He's exactly right.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of interesting about the pineapple thing is I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that most people are allergic to pineapple in one way or another. And I am. You know, I love pineapple and I eat it on a pretty regular basis. But raw, fresh pineapple will make my tongue kind of itch and stuff. And most people experience some allergic reaction to pineapple. So it must have sort of like a histamine, antihistamine kind of reaction.
There's an enzyme in pineapples, and it's also present in other things like apples and strawberries and melons. And what that thing you described with the itchy mouth and tongue, I get it too. And it's something called, I don't remember what the acronym stands for, but it's OAS. So if you like Google OAS and like pineapple allergy, you'll see it. And it's some enzyme that actually will irritate the lining of your mucous membranes. And so but it's interesting that something like pineapple helps an irritated mucous membrane when you have allergies. So
yeah, that's what I mean. Wow. Like, it's weird. Kind of like taking poison to cure something, right?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of medicine is poisonous, you know, if you take too much and take it at the wrong time and with other things. And stuff.
For sure.
So
anytime I eat pineapples or apples or strawberries or watermelon, like that's sort of what happens to me. I still eat it, but it's like I have to think about it. So
that's interesting. Yeah.
Speaking of medicines and stuff, I am fully immune today.
Oh, today's the day, huh?
Today's the day.
Oh, you can go out and make out with some strangers in a bar somewhere, Rick.
Well,
now he's thinking,
yeah.
That's what I do.
No, I'm going down to visit my favorite mom in the world. My mom's long gone, but I have an honorary mom in Georgia, and so I'm going down for Mother's Day. I haven't seen her since October of 2019. So
nice. Oh well, that's very nice. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, man, enjoy it.
Well, congrats, Rick. I've been fully immune for weeks now, and it's liberating to say the least. Holy moly. Like just going, I led a food tour last week. I led my first food tour in over a year. I did. I led a brunch tour. Now, Patty, my old boss, still my boss really at the food tours, he was like, man, I'm stuck here in Charlotte for a week. You want to run my brunch tour? And I was like, how many people and blah, blah, blah. And it sounded good. So I did it. And it was so much fun. And food tours are just a blast. And it was just really great. Like I wanted to openly weep at every restaurant I walked into and just be like, oh my God, I can't believe it's you.
How were the restaurants? Were they receptive? Were they supportive? Yeah. And okay, good.
The restaurants have always been supportive of food tours, the ones that host us, because if they're not supportive, we don't want to bother them, so we don't go in. Sure. And so they are happy to have food tours for sure. And, you know, they're my friends, and a lot of them I haven't seen in over a year. So they were really happy to see me as I was to see them. So it was really nice, you know, like giving out hugs to some people if they want them, if they're vaccinated and shit like that. And I was not raised to be a hugger because I'm from Massachusetts.
Yeah,
where it's actually illegal to hug people unless they're your family. And even then, it's only elbow taps. It's not really hugs. But I became a hugger here in Asheville, land of hippies. And then I learned that like 75% of them are just trying to fill you up. So, or want to give you a massage later.
That's funny.
Yeah. But now I do, and I am a hugger. I think it's a good way to show some human emotion with each other. And so, yeah, free hugs, everybody.
Free hugs,
got your
man.
vaccine.
You do give good hugs.
Oh, yeah, I gave you a hug, didn't I?
You gave me a hug this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have I ever hugged you, Luis? I'm sure I have. We've been friends for years. Unless you're like pushing me away.
I'll be honest with you. I don't remember.
You're getting a hug the very next time I see you. There ain't no escaping it now.
No, let me get vaccinated. I'm not.
Oh, that's right.
But I've been thinking a lot about this, honestly.
Okay.
And the time has come, and I still feel pretty weird about it, honestly. I do.
Yeah.
But I also
know you do.
Yeah, man. But I also feel like it is silly. I've been too silly for too long. So call me again next week or when we talk. But my plan is to actually tomorrow get this done.
Okay.
Because really, it's silly, truly, for me not to do this. And I feel
I'm
like
glad you feel that way.
What are you doing?
It's getting the vaccine.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to be so excited. It really is.
It is.
You don't
Yeah,
have
it's
to
a
be
weird
excited,
thing.
Luis. We'll be excited for you.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you. Be
Be
But
excited. Your second shot is done, and you can just kind of be more normal. So.
Yeah, it's a return to normality. It really is. Like nowadays, I wear a mask just because I don't want people to shame me and throw rotten fruit at me and stuff on the streets of Asheville for being anti-mask. But it's like
I hear you.
I'm not afraid anymore, and maybe I should be a little bit because there's still some risk. But I'm just living my life now.
One of the biggest things that I think of that makes me do this is really I want to be respectful to people, and I know really how much this means. And so it's
Good on you.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, Luis. And I know that you're not 100% comfortable with it, so I'm glad that you're doing something you're not super comfortable with because you feel like you should.
Yeah, well,
that sounds weird.
My daughter was teasing me about it, and I was like, "All right, fine."
Your brother was?
No, my daughter, man. My
daughter was teasing. Oh God, yeah. Children can be so cruel. So you got to do what they say, or they'll really lay into you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. I do have this agenda about food, but part of my agenda was to talk. Oh, Rick, your mic just went off.
Yeah, I had to yell at one of the dogs.
Thank you for turning the mic off. So part of my agenda, though, was about the COVID thing because it ain't over by any stretch. And man, I saw there's some sad news on Facebook that a restaurant that I gave Restaurant of the Year award to, Twisted Laurel, had their very first case of one of their staff members came down with COVID. Now they went over a year without any cases.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. And they were able to stay open that whole time and continue service and continue employing people. And then they've had to close down this week, first time, because one of their employees tested positive. So it's still out there, and it's still a risk for restaurant workers.
It's a risk for everyone. You know, it's like I have a friend in Portland who she was fully immune, and she somehow got it. And she didn't stop wearing masks. She didn't stop didn't start socializing or anything like that. And she got it. But, the symptoms are extremely mild, probably compared to what they would have been had she not been vaccinated.
Yeah, that's the thing about especially the J&J vaccine is like still might get the disease, but it should be a lot less.
He was a Pfizer.
It was Pfizer,
but
yeah.
So,
man, I feel like we live in a COVID world from now on, and just be running away from this stuff for the rest of forever.
I think it's going to take a couple of years to get to where we have like seasonal booster protocols, like flu shots.
Yeah,
and I don't always get flu shots, but when I'm not feeling healthy in a given year, I will get them, and I don't have the flu. So
yeah, I got one in 2020 for the very first time, and it was kind of like, well, I want to kind of really blow to get the flu right now in 2020. Everything else is so horrible, and I am kind of old, like in my 50s now, so getting up there in that group that has to worry about it a little bit more. And I don't usually get the flu, but I didn't want to. So, and also I figured, well, there's a vaccine for this COVID coming around, so I want to kind of get used to getting shots. Like, I don't know, it ain't the worst thing in the world.
That's funny because I was also made fun of that because I did get the flu shot in 2020. So and we're like, okay, so you get that, but you're not getting this. I was like, all right, enough.
You got shamed into the vaccine.
That's where we are. Your chops there.
It's all right, man. It's my children. They can do that to me.
We still got to shame people into the vaccine.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like the COVID and the restaurant workers and what's out there in the restaurant scene right now, the governor in North Carolina has lifted the mask mandate for outdoors. So outdoors, you don't have to wear a mask at all, but you still have to wear a mask when you go inside to a restaurant here. And I got to say, it's kind of weird because you don't have a mask on, and then you get to the front door, and then you put a mask on, and then you're wearing your mask for like 2 minutes, and then you are seated at a table where it's okay to take your mask off because you have to eat. And so it's like with the tour, I was constantly like, everybody put on your mask, and they put them on, and then 2 minutes later, they're all taking them off again. But they were all cool with it, and you got to do what you got to do. And there is a little bit of like symbolism at this point to some of it. But hell, man, it's no big deal to keep the mask on for 2 minutes in between the front door and the table. And it's just a weird world. Like, I don't really know what to think half of the time.
Well, I mean, when we see what's happening in other countries, and also, again, that's also going for me, Yeah. And realizing the news in the last 2 weeks. And I haven't watched the news lately, really. I stopped in the summer when everything got crazy. I needed to drop out of that. But lately, I've been told by different people what's going on. And I have taken glances, and yeah, man. Something has to be done, and we need to be more responsible. I think that we can all have our own opinions or whatever of what we believe, but in the end, we have to be more community-oriented and really think of the greater good of the people around you. Ultimately.
Yeah, the whole planet. Like everybody, what's going on in India right now.
Alarming.
It's devastating.
Yeah, but I just heard this morning or yesterday that the President Biden's gonna open up vaccine distribution to the world from America because we've got a lot of it here and they need it elsewhere. And he's going to turn the thumb screws on the pharmaceuticals to make more of it. And I heard that he's going to threaten to take their patent away if they don't step up production and make it into a generic that anybody can manufacture. So last time the government tried to do that was during an anthrax scare. They tried to they threatened one of the pharmaceuticals with making Cipro generic, and they were like, because they needed more than the company was able to make, and just the threat alone was enough to make the company be like, oh no, we'll step up production. And so they did make enough Cipro. And just in case you didn't know, the United States has a stockpile of Cipro. We can all get it if we need it in case there's a massive anthrax attack. I learned that news over this course of this week in the context of forcing the companies to make more vaccines for everybody. Like, there's no reason why one country should be vaccinated and another shouldn't.
Yep. It actually undermines the progress in one country. It's like, we're all in this together.
Exactly. All right. Well, this is a show about food, but food is so universal. It bleeds out into every topic. And boy, howdy, the COVID outbreak has impacted the food scene tremendously. Like,
did you see this week that there's now a revitalization fund that's been approved by the president for restaurants? And that's going to be huge. And restaurants have to go after that money. It's not going to come to them. So our restaurant friends need to be jumping on the ball with that.
Yeah. Davina and I mentioned that last week. There's the AIR, Asheville Independent Restaurant Association, is really pushing their membership to apply for this. And it's a grant, unlike the PPP, which was a loan.
Right.
The RRF, Restaurant Revitalization Fund, I think you just said, Rick. That's a grant. So they got to go to the small business Administration, SBA.
Yeah,
So
SBA.
it's like us.gov/SBA or something like that to apply for this RRF loan or not a loan, a grant. And so I hope the restaurants get that, Right now, we know the restaurants are struggling to find staffing. We talked about the myth that nobody wants to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rick, you had some great observations about that. I loved what you had to say about that. But
yeah, we're at that point where we really have to think beyond what we've known when it comes to work.
Yeah. And I think we need to address the nature of the word want. Like,
right.
Who the hell wants to work? Like most people,
like you said, nobody really wants to work.
You do it because you have to for the most part. And if you're lucky, you enjoy it.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's do some food news. Now, I have some food news items, and I'm keeping track of time. It's now 8:14, so we've got about 15, 16 minutes to do the show. So my food news is there's a new Indian place opening up called Andaz, 2 A's, or 3, Andaaz. And it's opening up in the place where Reza's used to be. So I was trying
Biltmore Village.
Yeah, Biltmore Village, right there. And I was trying to write a joke about how Reza's had some leftover Z's, and so when Nas opened up, I couldn't make it funny, so I decided not to tell the joke. So, but I'm excited about that, and they applied to be with Kickback, so hopefully that'll all go through, and we can get some fine dining, high-end Indian cuisine. It looks fantastic. So it says coming in summer 2021. And then we mentioned Mother Ocean as where you can get your broken rice, and they have a new lunch menu that they just released. And what they did is they kind of trimmed their menu way back, so it's really basic. It's like po' boys, fish sliders, fried clam plates, and stuff like that.
They still have the lobster roll that I have yet to try.
Yes, the lobster roll is still there. Yes, it is. It is. They took away one of the dressing options. No longer can you get it with mayonnaise. It's either with drawn butter or caper aioli.
Yeah, I would put drawn butter on it. But yeah.
Drawn butter is the way to go. I do like capers, and capers on a lobster roll is legit. So yeah, go check out the new Mother Ocean menu. It looks delicious. It reminds me of growing up in New England. We ate a lot of fried food out of plastic or out of paper boxes and stuff.
Right.
Greasy.
Fish and chips.
Yeah, totally. And clam
Newspaper.
bellies. Clams with the bellies on. You can't really get those around here. It's all clam strips around here, which I don't mind clam strips. It reminds me a little bit of school lunch because that's what they give us in school lunch is clam strips. And then I wanted to say that the French Broad Food Co-op has opened up their new storefront, and I'm excited. I haven't been there yet, but
same location.
Same location. They took over the garage space that was right next door, and they expanded their retail space. So it's a ton bigger, like more than twice as big now. And I'm going to try to pop in on my walk home from the radio station and check it out. But French Broad Food Co-op, a legit co-op. You buy memberships, you get discounts. Anybody can shop there. They're part of a nationwide group of co-ops that has their own brand name called Field Day. So all the co-ops team up together, and they're able to have a brand name for products. So you can buy Field Day organic macaroni and cheese, Field Day organic
I've seen that
potato chips and stuff.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's a coalition of actual co-ops. I feel like there's a bunch of fake co-ops in the world that say, oh, they're a co-op, but they're really just a corporation or whatever. But the French Broad Food Co-op is legit and part of a nationwide network. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. And we are trying to get them signed up with delivery for Kickback, so I don't have to give my money to Bezos anymore. And and my last piece of news is, speaking of Kickback, is that and Kickback, for those listening, is a local independent food delivery service that I work for that's owned by a woman named Jenny Townsend, single mom who started it because she couldn't get the food she wanted delivered to her house. And she was tired of working 3 jobs for other people. So she was like, if I'm going to work this hard, at least I'm going to get some food delivered to my house. And so she started the company for her own selfish reasons, which is always the best reason to do anything around food. And so I work for them, and we just signed up Dynamite Coffee Roasting out of Black Mountain.
Oh,
and
right on.
Dynamite is my first like coffee love in this town. And part of that is they do amazing dark roast coffees, and I love a dark roast because I'm old. Did I mention I'm old? I like dark roasted coffee. So I'm excited about that. Having pounds of coffee delivered is one of my personal delivery dreams. Like, if I could, what I really want is for someone to deliver pounds of coffee as well as like things of half and half and coffee filters, like everything you need to make coffee, anything you might run out of. And you're like, I need coffee stat, and there ain't no way I can go to the store and still be alive if I don't have some coffee right now. So coffee delivery is important to me personally. Rick.
Oh yeah. I go to Penny Cup every 5 weeks and buy a 6-pound bag of beans.
You told me that.
So
6 pounds.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You do a workout?
Bill sets me up. He sets me up. He's a good guy. So
well, Penny Cup is my second love in Asheville. Yeah. Not in order of preference, just in order of how I fell in love with them.
Right.
First, I fell in love with Dynamite, and then Penny Cup. Yeah. And Penny Cup run by Bill and Amber, and we always talk about Amber Arthur. She's a mogul in this town, man.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
She's a badass, that lady.
Yeah,
for sure, man.
Word of advice for young entrepreneurs: if you need a business partner, you look up Amber Arthur. You'd be like, hey, Amber, you want to start a business with me? Because she's good at it.
Yeah, for sure.
So those are my 3 little tidbits of news, or 4. How about you guys? Do you hear any tasty news? Luis? Got anything?
I do,
okay.
Man. So we mentioned Chow Chow a couple times.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I personally am really excited is that I do see, I do know from really good sources that there will be a good Latino crowd, or there's going to be good Latino representation. And I feel that, to me, like you said earlier, we all have our selfish motives for what we do things. So I obviously wanted Scuba Asheville to be a way for me to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just about me. And this is really what makes me happy, man. When I see people that are not necessarily just people of color, I'm not really saying that, but what I am saying, to see Latinos for me is a big pride, man. Mm-hmm. I keep on saying how much I believe we're part of this country and how much I feel that oftentimes we're invisible in many ways.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'm excited about what I see coming. I hang out with them. We are working on some things together for when this gets closer to Chow Chow. Oh. And so I know that there's at least 3 different Latin countries that are going to be involved there. People that are great chefs. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I saw
it's a good thing.
Hey guys, excuse me really quick. I've got to step away. I have a dog who needs to go outside really bad. Okay.
Okay, Rick. Are you going to be able to come back? Well, we'll hope he comes back. He's already gone.
Yeah, he is gone.
Well, he didn't sign out, so at least a piece of his chair is here. Well, I agree, Luis. It's wonderful to see Patty and Chef Santiago, their names like listed as featured chefs, and you say that you feel like your demographic is invisible, and I think that is probably as true in the food industry as anywhere else, man.
Yeah,
working in the back kitchen. Like, I saw a meme today or yesterday on Facebook. It was intended to be humorous. It was like, California has the best Mexicans making Japanese food. New York has the best, I forget which country, like Dominicans making French food or something like that. And it's true. Like, the kitchens, it doesn't matter what kind of food it is. The kitchens all over this country are full of people from Latin America.
Anthony Bourdain was a big inspiration to do some of the things that I do, man. Some of the videos that I try to make when they are not really fully commercial. And what I mean by that is, one of the things I noticed Anthony Bourdain doing in the last 5 years of his life, he did talk a lot about Mexicans in the kitchens in New York City. And there was a big article that I read, I think it was Newsweek magazine or something like that, man. And I really like his approach. That wasn't in the show, but I did see that he was producing other different kinds of media where he was bringing the attention to not necessarily. It's not that we want recognition, man, but I just feel like it's weird that this country has 51 million people that speak Spanish or understand Spanish, and one thing that people don't see the opportunity of diversifying your brand. Yeah, just from the opportunity aspect, financial aspect, and then the second one in how when you show those people in your brand, they are going to feel not only welcome, but they're going to be more attracted to your product.
Yeah.
So anyway,
bring you some dollar bills.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just think it's really silly. I feel like Latinos, we like to party. We may not do other things, but I mean,
dude, you said something really that has stuck with me for a long time. You said it maybe over the summer. I can't remember. But we were talking about Asheville being Beer City, USA. Like that's one of its monikers. More microbreweries per square mile in this part of the country than anywhere else in the country. So that's why we have that moniker. And you said to me, you know who likes to drink beer? Mexican people. And I was like, legit. And you were like, so I don't understand why the breweries aren't marketing towards the Spanish-speaking population here in Asheville, which is not insignificant.
Man.
And that just really stuck with me. I just love the way you put it. Like, you know who drinks a lot of beer?
Well, but here I have an answer, though. And this is not an official answer, but this is the answer that I imagine. I imagine they see us as a demographic that cannot afford
beer, right?
No, an IPA.
Yeah, an IPA, a craft beer.
Yeah, so that's really the only explanation that I have of why they don't do it.
I think that could be a reason, man.
And that is crazy, man. When I think about that, I was like, wow, guys, really? That's what you were thinking? But anyway,
we don't know for sure, but I can see that would be a reason. Like, and the other reason would be like, well, they like Modelo, right? Like they're stuck on a brand, so we have no chance of rebranding this demographic with our IPAs that are named after Grateful Dead songs and shit like that.
Yeah, man. But
I've said 2 swears this time. I'm in big trouble with Dave.
Yeah, I think you might be, man. You might be.
I can't help it. But legit, like you said, like you're not necessarily looking for recognition, but from my point of view, I am looking for recognition for all of the invisible workers that keep the food scene going, because that's part of why we're all arguing about nobody wants to work, right? Because we want to pretend that the back of the house doesn't even exist, let alone that they deserve a decent wage.
Yeah, man, that is really what's mind blowing. I mean, when I see the prices of housing going up, when I see, and again, I have friends in real estate and all that, but when I see the hype and the excitement of how fast they're selling houses and all that, which again, I am all for everybody having a job and all this, but do you realize what is happening? And do you realize really why the restaurant industry now is beginning to feel the impact of this?
Totally.
So it's like, come on, we got to do something. So we'll see.
Hopefully it's getting done. I would hate to see everything just kind of go back to the way it was in terms of wages and worker structure and stuff. I do feel like there's a chance for change.
I think so. I agree with you.
Now, Rick, we've got 3 minutes left, so I want to make sure that you get your exciting food news items in if you have any. Oh, you're not turned on, Rick. Turn your mic on. I'm sorry.
Now we hear you.
Hello. Cool. The only thing I wanted to add was I tried a new restaurant this week. Silver Ball Subs on Leicester Highway.
Okay.
It's in a strip mall with a Dollar General. Okay. Imagine that. And for those of you who don't know, Dollar Generals are everywhere here. And,
they're ubiquitous.
I really love it, like a good Italian sub, right? To me, that's a real East Coast thing.
Yeah.
And I'd heard great things about Silver Ball through a couple friends, my friend Meg at Whisk. And so I met a couple buddies there yesterday, and we had lunch. And I had the most amazing Italian sub.
Okay.
This thing, you order it. I got the spicy version. They call it the hot stuff. But like 6 different Italian meats that I can't really pronounce. And all the usual trimmings. But then if you say skyscraper, this thing ends up being like 6.5 inches tall.
Wow.
And I got a foot long. So I had half of it for lunch and I had half of it for dinner. It was fantastic. So if you guys like subs, Silver Ball.
I do,
absolutely. Man. And guess who filled out an application for kickback just today?
Oh man,
Silver Ball. So I'll be
sweet. Well, I talked with Patrick there. I don't know if he's a manager, one of the owners, but they're opening on Monday, starting next week. So we open all 5 days of the week.
Great.
And I think it's mostly a lunch. I think they do some dinner, but it was really like good old school East Coast subs, man.
Cool. All right.
Way better than Subway.
Where is it again? Tell me.
It's on Leicester Highway. You know, we're just past like Noble Cider.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. So just before you get to the
other side.
It's on the right side before you get to the Big Ingles.
Okay,
I think
cool.
There's like there's a couple other things around there, but
right on, man. Cool. I'll check it out. I love good sandwiches. I live in New York for a while. Married twice to New Yorkers.
This is top shelf subs. So.
I like New York food. So.
All right, you guys, that's perfect. And Rick, you mentioned Whisk, and that was like the one other thing I ate this week was you brought me the mother of all cinnamon rolls from Whisk and some other great pastries from Whisk. And everybody can see the cinnamon roll on my Instagram page.
I saw that, man.
Yeah.
I saw that.
All right, guys. Well, just 15 seconds before we're out of here. So I just want to say thanks for joining me, Rick and Luis. You guys are awesome. And I want to thank WPVM 103.7 FM here in Asheville for letting me use their studio. I'm not in my office today. I'm in the studio, but I'm learning how to use the software and everything. And I'm the producer. Davine's not here right now. It's amazing.
Look at you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's overtime. I just went overtime. That's why we need.
All right, brother. Thank you very much.
Right.
You guys have a good
Bye,
day.
guys. Take care.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.